Good evening, everybody. December 12th, 2021. Let's look at what Bitcoin did today on a Sunday. So we had a continuation of this kind of grinding up action that we had Saturday. It continued to grind up today, right up until about the daily open, which is when we saw this sell-off happen. We typically see some sort of silly action on Sunday, right around when the new day, new week opens. So let's talk about what this action means. All right. I had discussed previously that this kind of looked like we might have made a WXY, and in order to confirm that that should be the bottom, we needed to break this level right here, which we did in fact do today. So that being the case, I've taken off the larger green box. You know, we had a green box in this region here where if it had just continued downwards without breaking that level, it could have been a continuation of this Y here. But since we broke that level, we should no longer see a continuation down in that Y. That Y is done if it's going to continue bullishly up. That is done. So this line now, 44.1, was the region I was looking at to hold previously as my line in the sand, where it really just couldn't have been an extension on Y any longer. It's something more bearish. I'm moving that line up now. Okay, below 46.7 is the new line in the sand because of this action here coming up above the high of X. We should no longer go below that Y if we're going to continue bullishly in the short term. So if we do continue bullishly, we still have to contend with this high here in the first wave of what could be a leading diagonal, right? So we potentially have our first wave up, ABC, got our second wave down as a WXY, and now we should be making a third wave at this point in time, somewhere up here, probably right around 58K. That's the ideal place for that third wave to go, if we are in fact going to go up. That of course is not guaranteed yet. Above 51.9 would make that a much greater probability. If we can get above 51.9, we're very likely going to get up there to that region then. At the moment, we are still at risk of breaking down, because I also mentioned that this potentially looks like a 5-wave move down as well in a diagonal, but nonetheless it does maybe look like a 5-wave move down. And so if we see a clear corrective wave upwards, which should be an ABC, and then a breakdown below this level, then we're going to be dealing with a bearish scenario instead. So again, we're kind of back to this level of, we don't want to go below 46.7 in this. I suppose there is a small possibility that this is A, B, and C down to a lower level, but I really think that would only be good for like sideways chop at best. And realistically, it probably is not going to do that. If it breaks down below that level, I think we're going down even further. So that's the concern there. So let's just keep an eye on whether or not we can break this 51.9. We need to stay above 46.7 at this point in time, and we'll go from there. I don't see a clear corrective looking action right now. Like, this doesn't really look like an ABC, but it could be. It would be more likely for this to be all of A, there's B, and maybe we get a C wave up. So this is why I said, if we get above 51.9, it increases the likelihood, makes it probable that we're going up here, but it still could be corrective action, because that at that point in time is still going to look like an ABC and could still reject, especially considering we have that downtrend line coming down that rejected us in this area here. So my expectation is that we are going up from here. It's not anything more than a hunch at this point, really, and we do have some direction on the chart. At least we've got some parameters on the chart, which is good, but we don't have any clear signs right now that we are definitely going up from here. It really is going to depend on breaking that 51.9 and breaking this diagonal level here before I can more comfortably say, yeah, we're going up here. But like I said, I think once we're above 51.9, 58K is the next level that I'll be kind of worried about, and it may not be a bad idea to take some hedge shorts at that level, because at a minimum, you know, somewhere in here we should see a rejection, even if it goes up to 60. Hedging a short somewhere in this region, you know, at a minimum we're going to go kind of sideways down for a fourth wave before we go back up. I mean, it could just go sideways like this, I suppose, but would give you time anyway to kind of dump shorts if they ended up not looking like they were going to be favorable. But the danger, of course, is even if we get up into this level, that at that point is still just 3 waves. We'll have a diagonal and we'll have a breakdown point. You know, if we break down below this, then we need to stop out because we're going down. And so, as I said, kind of hedge shorts here for that ride down are great. We can stop out of them if, you know, it gives us this 5th wave up, or we can hold them if it happens to go down. So that's kind of my game plan at this point in time, as far as what I expect. And if it doesn't even get up there, if we just kind of break down from here, then I'm going to be scaling out for sure below this 56 or 46.7 region, because at a minimum, like I said, we're probably then going to see somewhere in this region at an absolute minimum. It'll come down into this region, right? So it could go down again like as low as 44, but because this at that point looks more like 5 waves down instead of WXY, my expectation is that it'll keep going down then. Like, this is potentially our 1, 2, 3 would go here-ish, 4 up, and then 5 down. And once we've made that, that'll be breaking this low, and then we're pretty much guaranteed to go down into the 30K. So that's what we don't want to see as the bulls, obviously. But there's a small chance that we could hold in this area here for just some more extended sideways action. So I'll keep that green box on there for now, but hopefully we don't even have to use it. The other good news, PPO is bottoming out here, which is nice. Kind of tells me this dump is maybe a bunch of BS. Volume on the dump is also extremely low, so I'm not, at this point in time, I'm not particularly worried about it, but I am moving my stops up on this to 46.7. All right, I think that pretty much sums it up. Let's see where we are tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, good night, everybody.